My Victorian Heart, and I'd like to share with you a newer product to our store, and it's called Eco Powder by a Maker Studio, which is a Amy Howard company. And this is a 100% safe, non-toxic, and hypoallergenic alternative to chemical resins like epoxy resin, and so or like the quick curing type of resin. And this is a really fine, soft white powder. It almost reminds me of sifted flour. And you just mix 3 parts of the Eco Powder with 1 part water, and you pour it into a clean, dry mold. And the mold that I have here is by Ironworker Designs, and this is called Felicite, and it is from their summer 2024 collection that just got released. And you don't need to dust this with cornstarch or anything. You just pour the Eco Powder mix right into here. And so we're going to go ahead and take our little 10 milliliter silicone cup to measure out our powder, and we have these 2 100 milliliter silicone cups that we're going to use. And you just want to take your Eco Powder, and you don't have to be real precise, but like when you measure flour, you take the back edge of your knife and you level it out, when you want to do like a good teaspoon or tablespoon or whatever you're doing, or cup. So this is 1 part. This is 2 parts. And this is 3 parts. Kind of gets all over the place. And then I add just an extra bit. I would say I add in half of this 10 milliliter cup. Probably about 5 milliliters extra. And I'll tell you why. Amy Howard suggested that you add a little extra Eco Powder to your water to prevent cracking of your castings when they are setting up. And so I can tell you, when I first tested this out a while back, I mixed up my Eco Powder mix, and it was very pourable the way that with the amount of water I had in there. I did the 3 parts powder and the 1 part water, but I think I did way too much water, and it just poured right in, but I had some cracks in the molds that I had done that day. And so I went back and I watched her video and I listened to her instructions better, and I did the 1 part water and I did a little extra powder, and it was a little thicker and they set up great, and I had no cracks, and the details are beautiful. So I think it pays to listen to her instructions, right? So I'm using just purified bottled water. I'm going to do 10 milliliters of water in here, and I have to sit it down and get a good look here. So, and I just make like a little well in the center of my powder in here, and pour the water in, and you just stir, mix the powder and the water really well, and it's pretty smooth. It really doesn't get lumpy or thick or chunky. If you feel any kind of powdery lumps along the sides or bottom, you just take your implement and kind of scrape and dig, and make sure you get all the dry powder in there and mix it. So it's like a little thick, not exactly pourable. So I just take a little touch of water and mix it in there. And then I've noticed the thicker I have this, the better off my castings set up and dry without cracks. I just want to repeat that. It's really important to remember this. So the Eco Powder by Amy Howard is a super wonderful, safe alternative to the other, to resins that you use in molds. But you know, when you demold them, they're very hard, they're very set up, they're, you know, you can't bend them or mold them to like a project. That you just have to have them on their, glue them on their flat backs. They are paintable and tintable. You can tint the mix with alcohol inks. You can gild them, you can do waxes on them. Okay, so this is good. It's nice and mixed. And now we want to just go ahead and pour them in here. So I'm gonna start with this beautiful double rose here. And you know, the nice thing about these molds is they have the milliliters noted for this design. Each design has milliliters or grams. You know, grams for clay, milliliters for liquid, stuff like that. So this is giving me a nice pour. It's not too runny, it's not too thick. And I'm just gonna jiggle it a little bit. And the other thing that you can do is scooch the liquid toward the edge of detail. If you like those little points and stuff on this design, make sure you get it all in there. And you can tap your mold. And then let's see, let's fill up this really pretty rose right here. I'm super excited about having this medium in my stash and to offer at myvictorianheart.com. You know, it gives us all a nice choice of something to create with. And let's see, let's do this little rosebud piece here. I think we have enough to fill that. We sure do. And then this teeny little bud thing there. And let's see, I might have enough to fill this little ditty over here. I don't like to waste anything. Okay, I think that's really good. And these look like they're all where they should be. And you want to use silicone cups when you mix with this, because as it dries, it gets really hard. And I actually mixed it in a glass when I first tried it, and it dried super hard in the glass. But my dear husband, he soaked it with really hot water, and it came loose. So do know it would come loose. And you can use like a plastic cup or a paper cup, but I really like the silicone cups because when it dries, the stuff just pops right off of it. You don't have to worry about it. And so drying time. These set up for me in literally like 30 minutes. And you know, I probably left them in there. I did one round and I think it was like 45 minutes. I did another round, it was like 30 minutes. When I first poured these, when I first tested the Eco Powder, I had the fan running over this work table and I got some cracks, but that was also when I used too much water and I think it was just too thin. So I don't recommend running a fan over your area. I live in really humid Northeast Florida, but mine have done really well. It's super hot and humid here. We're in the middle of a thunderstorm. They have these set up beautifully. They were not affected by the humidity or anything today. And that's it. We're gonna wait about 30 minutes for these, and then I'll come back and I'll demold them. Hello. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes since we poured the Eco Powder mix into the IOD Felicite Mould, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop these out now. And I'll start with this little tiny one right here. And There you go. Perfect. Nice and smooth on the back. And then look at this big one here. There we go. Perfect. Really pretty. Nice and smooth on the back. Do the next larger one here. Ah, beautiful. Such lovely details in these Felicite Moulds by IOD. And then our tiny little rosebud here. And teeny little accent. And I just wanted to cap off this video with a little bit about the Eco Powder by a maker studio. And so Eco Powder, as I said before, is 100% safe, and it's non-toxic, and it is an environmentally friendly, eco-friendly medium for your casting of molds. It's safe for you to use, and it's different from the quick curing type of resin or the regular clear resin or the epoxies. Those, you know, like when you make a casting out of those other types of chemical resins, and let's say they're like very plastic, they're durable, you can heat them, you can kind of bend them, you can drop them and they won't break. These are, like I said, gypsum powder based, and they are like plaster, so they dry very hard and, you know, flat on the back. So when you adhere them to a surface, you know, you want to put them on something that they'll sit nice and flat on, and as you can hear, they're like very hard. I think that this is a super good option for people who don't want to work with chemical stuff that you have to wear masks and gloves and a respirator. This is a wonderful, safe, eco-friendly alternative to that. And I think they make a beautiful addition to your craft projects. And I just wanted to show you that these work really beautifully on project. I'm going to be using this a lot. As a 3-time cancer survivor, this is important to me to have this option in my life. So I appreciate your time and thank you for being here. Bye-bye.